Hey everyone, welcome back to the One Shot Heroes channel. I am Jackal Wolf, and this episode what we're going to do is we're going to create ourselves another random character. Now, we did something very similar a little while ago. We created Fenton, the candy munching dart expert. I actually rolled him into a custom one-shot campaign that I did with a couple of friends, JGeekW and Tiefin. If I'm on the ball, there should be a link popping up in the top right-hand corner. Click on that if you want to check out part one of that one-shot. Like last time, we're going to rely heavily on our trusty Dungeon Master's Guide, but because it doesn't have a random race table for NPCs, I've kind of come up with an alternate method to kind of figure that out. And if we're really lucky, we might have to dig into some of the other sources for a race. But before we get started, now would be a great time to click on that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. That way you're alerted every time I post a new video to this channel. Also, if you're enjoying this content, you want to support, the best way you can help us out is by word of mouth. We are a very small channel, so word of mouth goes a really, really long way. So talk us up with your friends, your Dungeons and Dragons community. Make sure you include hashtag OneShotHeroes in your message. That is the number one, SHOTHEROES. That way there's a good chance we might spot that message and we can give you a shout out back. Also, make sure you support your local game shop. They are a good source for Dungeons & Dragons material and content, as well as a great way to expand your Dungeons & Dragons community. But enough about that, let's get back to this video. So, like I said, this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to come up with another random NPC. We had a lot of fun last time. One thing we did run into, though, is the Dungeon Master's Guide does not have a random race table. Now, that's not a really big deal. What we can do is we can kind of come up with our own system for that. There are 9 races from the player's handbook / basic rules. Starting with the Dragonborn, we got the Dwarf, Elf, Gnome, Half-Elf, Halfling, Half-Orc, Human, and Tiefling. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply the numbers 1 to 9 for those races. If we roll a 10, then we're going to have to go out to a different source, maybe the Monsters of the Multiverse or something like that. So last time we used Tabletop Simulator to throw some dice. This episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use DM tools. There's lots of great options out there. I'm just looking for ones that have got a nice visual aspect to throw into a video. Like always, I'll have a link below to all the different tools that I use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go throw that dice. There you go. We've got ourselves a 10 on our very first roll. That means we're going to go break out one of the other books. Okay, so I did a little bit of digging here. I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I thought the chances of us rolling a 10 on our first chance was pretty low, but I've got access to the Monsters of the Multiverse. This is a great companion for a lot of different races. There are 45 extra races in this book. Now that makes it a little bit difficult to roll a dice. I've done a little bit of math. If we do 4d12, that will give us a range of numbers from 4 to 48, which is actually 45 numbers. So our very first character will be the 4, which is the Aarakocra. And then a 48 would be the Yanti. I'm not going to go over the other 45 or 43 characters that are in here because it's a big, long list. So let's go throw that dice. And we got a 23. 22. 23 is the Minotaur. Minotaur. Minotaurs are barrel-chested humanoids with heads resembling those of bulls. Blessed with supernaturally strong sense of direction, Minotaurs make great navigators. Racial traits: horns, goring rush, hammering horns, and labyrinth recall. All right, so there we go. There is our first step. Our character is the Minotaur. So next up, NPC Appearance. This ranges from things like piercings, missing fingers, baldness, nervous eye twitch. It is a D20. So we're going to go throw that. That is a 14. Braided beard or hair. So that works really well with a Minotaur. I could see a Minotaur with the big, sort of barbarian braids and maybe even like, braided, hair in the back as well. So that actually, I think, fits really good with our character so far. So next up is the NPC Abilities. So there is a high ability and a low ability. They are both a D6. So we're going to roll them one at a time. Throw the first one. That is a 6 Charisma. That is their high ability. So he's definitely going to be probably a very jolly. Well, I don't know about jolly, but people like him. He's definitely a likable character. We'll go throw the second one. For the low ability is going to be Dexterity. So he's going to be clumsy, fumbling. So maybe he's a little bit of, not maybe a clown, not intentionally, but maybe his antics are why people like him so much. All right, so the third thing, well, technically the fourth thing is going to be the NPC traits. This is another D20. That is a 5. Great with animals. All right, you know what? This is really kind of coming together. So maybe he's kind of like a shepherd in town. He keeps a flock of sheep, or maintains the local well, okay, I guess it would make more sense if he had a herd of cows, though that almost might be too obvious. Maybe he would have like an ironic flock. What would be the opposite of cows, right? Maybe chickens, maybe he's, a Minotaur, he's big. Maybe he keeps the smallest little, tiny chickens, and that's his thing. He's this big, huge guy, and he's got to collect up these little tiny eggs, all the time. Maybe that's like a quest, is to have the characters go out and collect all these eggs. I don't know, an egg hunt of some sort. Okay, next up, NPC Mannerisms. This is another D20. 18. Taps fingers. Okay, fair enough. Maybe he's got like not maybe so much a nervous tap, but he's always kind of tapping his fingers on the side of his leg, or anytime he passes like a railing or something like that, he's got to like run his fingers down it or something like that. All right, so NPC Interaction traits. This one is a D12. And that is a 12. Suspicious. So this is how he reacts towards others. So maybe because he's a Minotaur, maybe he's the only Minotaur in town, he's always assuming people are suspicious of him because, he's big and maybe he doesn't quite fit in, and he's very, very conscious of that. Or, maybe his chickens are going missing. Maybe there actually is a problem where people are maybe not out to get him, but out to treat him a little bit differently. So next up is the NPC Ideal. We've got 3 different categories here. We've got a good ideal, evil ideal. So the good ideal would be like beauty, life, self-sacrifice. Evil ideal would be domination, might, slaughter. There's the lawful chaotic ideal, which is like fairness and responsibility versus freedom and no limits or whimsy. And then there's the neutral ideal, which is like, balance, knowledge, neutrality, as versus other, which is aspiration, discovery, glory. Now, reading this one, I think last time we might have done it incorrectly, because we gave Fenton 3 ideals. What I think we need to do is come up with our own sort of roll for it. So I'm going to roll a D6. 1 to 3 would be the good, lawful, neutral. And then 4 to 6 would be the evil, chaotic, and other. So we're going to throw that. That is a 6. So that's an other ideal. And then we're going to roll the 6 again to see which one it is. That is a 3, glory. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. Maybe he's an older Minotaur. Maybe he's retired, from fighting, and he still has memories from the glory days of being a warrior in, whatever army, or maybe he's an ex-adventurer and, this is his sunset years. But he's always talking about, his glory days, things that, the time he fought the Kraken, or I don't know, I can't see a Minotaur fighting a Kraken, but he defeated 10, fighters on his own. All right, so next up is the NPC Bonds. So these are things that kind of flesh out the character a bit. So we got things like protective of close family members, loyal to a benefactor, patron, or employer, drawn to a special place, out for revenge. There's a lot of different things here. On a 10, we actually roll twice, ignoring another 10. That's an interesting one to see if we can get. So this is a D10. And that is a 2, protective of close family members. So maybe he retired when he had a child, and, he got himself out of the, the fighting business, which is very dangerous. Or maybe, there's the standard story of, the fighter finds the baby on the field of battle and raises it as their own. I like that one. It's a very standard storyline, but maybe the baby's, important, the prince or princess, from somebody that he was fighting, but he couldn't actually kill them. So he took them in secret and has been raising them. And then the last one we've got here is NPCs, flaws, and secrets. So these are things that they've keeping hidden, maybe not maliciously, but maybe because they're, concerned about it. But it could be, like in this case, it's possible that he's hiding out from, his former troops or former leader or something. So we got things like enjoys a decadent pleasure. That was what Fenton got. Envies another creature's possessions, prone to rage, shameful or scandalous history, foolhardy bravery. So lots of good options on this one. This is a D12. 7 has a powerful enemy. This guy's actually really coming together. I am very kind of surprised at just how well he just makes sense right from the beginning. So I think the last thing we got to do here now is come up with a name for this character. I've pulled up a random name generator. It is the fantasynamegenerators.com. It's a really, really good source for a bunch of random names based on the different races. I've used it before for, naming like actual characters and stuff like that. So once on the site, all I got to do is click the get male names or the get female names. And this is something I haven't really thought about. This character has been male right from the beginning in my head, but it could just as easily be a female character. So what we're going to do, we're going to roll a D4. We're going to go odds it's a male, evens it's a female. Evens, so it's actually a female Minotaur. So I'm going to go click get female names. We got a bunch of different options here, but you know what? We've got 10 names here. We'll roll ourselves a D10. 3. Muupe Keenmind. Muupe Keenmind. All right, there we go. We have now finished creating Muupe Keenmind. She is a Minotaur that fought in an army for, some duke or prince and was sent on countless missions. All of her life was about the glory of, serving her ruler. But at some point she came across a mission that she couldn't complete. She was supposed to kill a child. Rather than kill the child, she took it and has been raising it on her own. One of the reasons she's very suspicious is that, she suspects everybody is out to try to find her and the child. Actually, something we got to figure out is who this child is. I don't feel like we can finish this character without at least coming up with a basic idea for the child. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll that D10 again. We're going to use the same sort of race generator with the 1 to 9 being the standard races. And then if we roll another 10, then, it's going to be one of the other, from the Monsters of the Multiverse race. So let's roll a D10. That is a 9, which is a tiefling. So that's really kind of interesting. Maybe, okay, and this is just me throwing story ideas out there, and it's something that would work into a campaign somewhere, but maybe there's a prophecy out there, and this baby tiefling was, prophesized to be either a great leader or maybe a great danger. Maybe nobody really knows. And that's why Muupe Keenmind was kind of sent off to kill this creature to, avoid some sort of future catastrophe, but she couldn't do it. She's taken it and raising them on their own. She's living in this small town, probably trying to hide the tiefling nature of the child. I could definitely see maybe a tiefling standing out, especially if they're living in a town that's, not a lot of tieflings or any tieflings at all. It would definitely be good motivation for something for them to keep hidden while at the same time still having to be part of the world. So I think that's really good. I think we've got a really good NPC here that could very easily be thrown into a campaign, either as an important thing, maybe as a side thing, just something as simple as having a side quest to go collect eggs. I think that would be very interesting, but maybe as a bigger plot point where, you know, the party is maybe sent to hunt down this child, or they just come across it and now the party's got to protect the child. But yeah, no, I'm really, really happy about this. I really like this random generator for NPCs. I think it works really, really well. I liked Fenton last time. I really, really like Muupe Keenmind here. So like I did with Fenton and Dunder Dumble, I'm going to throw them on my Discord page. Just a little bit more info, sort of like maybe a little character sheet, or at least, you know, some character stats for them. If you're interested in throwing them in a campaign of your own, make sure you leave a comment below. Let me know how they worked out. Let me know what your players thought about them. But I think that's going to be it for this one. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please, please, please share this video, share this character out there. Hashtag One Shot Heroes. Again, that is the number 1 SHOTHEROES. Support your local game shop, and we'll see you guys next time. Good.